So, Ron, why don't you start with when you retired from the Marines and what you did in the Marines?
Well, I served honorably for 20 years in the Marines, and I was honorably discharged with full benefits. I wanted to be a 30-year man, but I couldn't because of several disabilities. They let me finish out my 20. So I retired and went home, and I was looking for the American dream and stuff like that. All I wanted was a little home to be with my dogs. Nothing fancy, no big mortgage, stuff like that. So I went to the VA to find a home, and they originally offered me, you can have up to $250,000. I'm like, no. So my budget was a $150,000 home. So I searched and I finally found one, and it was trouble finding a mortgage broker that would do the VA loan. I did that. I moved in. I was fine. At that time, I had a job that was paying. This is in 2003. When I purchased them, November 2003, I had a job that was making $20 an hour, plus my pension from the Marines, which was more than enough to cover the house. 2005, I lost my job with my company, and I was falling behind. I went through 3 months. I was out of work for 4 months, and I went through my savings. I paid all up till then. And then when I finally got a job, it was only for $9 and $10. And as this was going on, I'm falling behind, looking for assistance. And I was looking for assistance. I would call certain agencies or my elected officials who would refer me to something else. And I gotta say this now because I contacted a lot of our elected officials who just passed the buck, and I have documentation of that. And at that same time, I got a job, low-paying job. And in 2005, I found another job. And by 2010, I got a job up to 20. After 7 years, I finally got a job that matched the pay I had when I first got the house.
Right.
So I'm like, yes. But during this time, I had, from my knowledge, the house was foreclosed on several times. I was working with an attorney to work it out with the Veterans Administration to, let me stay in the house. I'm willing to give this up for that, my pension. I said, I got a job now, and I would never hear nothing from them. And every time I heard something through the VA, they would just want to know, dude, what did you do? And I tell them what I would do. So, and I went out my own, I have the dates, I went to 2 places. I went to...
They were different mortgage assistance or mortgage help. Divine.
Divine.
Right?
I went to Divine Resource Group, Divine Resource Financial Group. They're in Maryland.
And what was the year, do you think, for that?
2006, I believe. 2007. I have it here. And they were working out a forbearance for me. And they did, but what happened was the bank said we'd have to have $3,400 plus a month's mortgage. So that was close to $5,000. I had 3 months mortgage saved up, which was about $3,500. That was not enough. They needed the whole thing, and they couldn't do anything else. And another thing they said was that the VA, the reason they don't want to work with me or something like that, they're not giving up information, is that they send somebody to the house, they get in an estimate on it, and did I refuse them access and force them off the property? That's what they told Divine Resources.
That's not true.
That's not true. And then I wrote one of my senators, I don't know if it's Senator Casey or at that time Senator Specter, about that, to look in for an investigation, because now stuff is starting to smell funny. I'm getting all these other lawyers saying that they own this, that I have this, and I was so confused I didn't know where to go anymore. Then I went to another one later on towards 2009, 2008, I believe, which was Foreclosure Solutions, and they were out of Tampa, Florida. Now this was roughly $1,300 for these, and this was close to $1,000 for them. That was coming out of my money, and I was also having an attorney help me out, which was anywhere from $600 to $1,200 a pop for what he had to do, and I wasn't getting any help. But it was, I asked, I tried, I begged, and I was referred this information to this place, to that place, and I showed Miss Miller here, Ruth, a documentation of the faxes that I sent to
The different reps.
the different reps and of, our elected officials. And they would bounce me back to Spectre. Then I get letters from them, from Casey saying, well, even though I'm not a legislative, I can't help the law. It was just a brush
They're
off.
passing the buck.
And nobody passed the buck, and I'm here, I'm now 100% disabled.
Now let's go back a little bit to what happened after that 30 days was up.
Oh.
And, all of a sudden you get a knock on the door,
Okay.
and how that was handled.
After the 30 days were up, before that was up, I contacted Senator Casey's office, Meehan's office, the VA rep. I said, look, they're coming. I want to arrange for the Purple Hearts and Disabled American, Wounded Warriors, Purple Hearts and Wounded Warriors to come to take all this stuff so they can give it to fellow veterans. Before they come, can you give me a date? And I knew they were coming, but they didn't come when I thought they were coming. They came later, so I thought maybe they contacted me. But I woke up and there was a truck. Next thing there was 2 sheriff's deputies coming. And I'm like, crap. So I got on the phone. I'm like, can they hold this off?
And where were you at this point? Were you back
At
in the
that
house?
time, I was not in the house. I was outside.
Okay.
They asked me. The sheriff's deputies also asked me. I told them, I said, look, I'm a retired disabled veteran. And they asked me, just like the West Norton cops, do you have any weapons on you? I said, not only do I have weapons in the house. They go, what do you have? And I told them I have a Martin 35 deer hunting rifle, a Remington 870 pump shotgun for small game, and an old single shot 12-gauge shotgun I used when I was able to hunt 13 and 14. So at that time, we were up here on the side of my house, and the West Norton police sort of forced me into the corner to the side door. I felt threatened because being a Marine or anybody in the military, you recognize a threat and you got to act on it. I was not acting. I was taking a strictly defensive position on this, and I actually felt threatened. So I took a defensive pause. I worked my way into the corner, and at that time, the one threat was this tall, gray-haired cop. I asked, "Don't move, stay where." He goes, "I can go wherever I want." And so he was. And at that time, the one sergeant talked to the detective, and I heard the word "shoot," and I knew what was coming. And this was within 5 minutes of when they got there. And I knew it was coming. They lunged. They tore down the fence. They ripped off the gate. I think they broke the screen door. And as I was going back into the house, which I know they didn't want to, but before I back up, let me back up. First, we were talking, and we didn't talk much. And the one police officer, I think he was a sergeant, he goes, "You know how this is going to end? It's going to end with you dying." I said, "I'm a Marine for 20 years." He goes, "You know, this can end with you dying." And I said, "I'm prepared to die." I did not say I was going to kill anybody. I did not say I was going to kill myself. I said, "I'm prepared to die." So anyway, it wasn't even 5 minutes of conversation. They acted. They took the aggressive position. I went defensive. As I was going in, they fired at me with their taser. And from what I understand, it was actually twice they fired at me. And from the statements from one of the police that don't want to be identified, he said, "I just ripped the ones out of my chest." He said, "You took 90,000 volts." And the other one, the one other prong missed me, the other one hit me in the leg. So I went in the house, locked the doors. That's considered barricading yourself in. If you want to know, you barricade yourself in every night. So when they say you barricade yourself in, I locked the doors. I did not throw any refrigerators or furniture up against the doors. I cooperated. I told the negotiator. At that time, man, my God, it was not. SWAT shows up, snipers show up, armored vehicle shows up, moving in tear gas, and I'm on the line with the negotiator. When I was on the line with the negotiator, I asked for one thing, and it wasn't a demand. All I asked is I wanted to talk to a priest, to console a priest. And I was denied my First Amendment rights. They said, "We do not do that." And all I wanted to do was ask them a question. That's all I wanted. I wanted to console a priest. They would not let me talk to a priest. And now, right there, I fought to defend this Constitution and have
That's right.
my First Amendment denied me. And now my Second Amendment denied me. I can't get my weapons back. I'm not charged with anything. And then one thing I want to say, I do not hold any animosity or anything towards the Sheriff's Department, to the SWAT teams, and to 2 of the 4 police officers in the West Norton Police Department. Everybody was professional except for 2 individuals who escalated this whole thing into nothing. And now to deny me my Second Amendment rights. And
They did not charge. Now, they did not charge you, but yet they are not allowing you access to your weapons.
No, they called, and I had the phone conversation. Detective Neighbor, he goes, "We cannot give you your weapons back." I asked for my firearms, and I have the thing. I did not talk to him directly. I have the voicemail. Words to this effect: "We cannot give you your firearms back. You have to get a lawyer or appeal this." He goes, "But under your cases, if it is, it goes to a judge, and he goes, most of the time, the weapons will be given to a family member, and that family member has to sell your weapons." And that is not right.
No.
I mean, these were strictly recreational and hunting weapons. I had no offensive weapons. I cooperated with the police. I cooperated with the sheriff's department. I cooperated with SWAT. I cooperated with the negotiator